It's Monday morning, and while there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, let's talk about something I did this weekend. So I made a joke this weekend, and let's talk about that because two people have given me feedback on it, and not two people is not a lot, but it's always kind of interesting. So now, I made a joke about that the anacrusis doesn't give you cancer, and other video games do, and that's the trend. So these people, I think, are bothered that I mentioned the word cancer. They're not trying to cancel me. They're not trying to do anything else like that. They just simply said, "Hey, that's not funny to me." And I get that. I lost my father to cancer. I lost some friends to cancer. At one point, I bought the domain I still own, Hooray for Cancer. The reason for that is if you remember the old Schoolhouse Rock, when the guys are cheering back and forth, and one guy's like, "Hooray, I'm for the other team." It was a joke for a friend going through something, right? In general, I have a laissez-faire with mortality. It's like a thing that doesn't bother me, whatever. It's the way my life has worked out that people die. It's part of life. So that said, my interaction with cancer doesn't excuse that I could still be offensive with cancer to other people, right? Just because something happened to you doesn't give you carte blanche to be a jerk about it to other people. The joke, I think, is fine. I think it's, I purposely use dolly images and stuff that I don't normally use to try to hit that is just joking and satirical in nature. Still, that's fine. That some people are bothered by it. So, as a joke, it is fine. And a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people had some really funny comments about it and went into it. But as a piece of content to market a game, is it a right joke? And that's my question, right? So I'm fine with the joke itself. I'm okay done. I don't produce videos as well as other people and blah, 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 blah. And like I said, I try to time box everything, so it's not like I give it that much time. It's not that big of a deal. I could just delete it. So the question is, again, that this account is to market my game. I like talking to people, and I've always done this. And for people of my generation, I was online since the 80s. So I've lived a lot of my life online. I think people now, I watch people struggle who've just come to TikTok and this is their first time interacting with the community, and you could see it because they're like, this person wasn't really my friend. Like, well, that person wasn't, but you know what? There's also people I've met online who are my friends, who I go out every time we're in town together, right? You learn to navigate through this, right? And so with that, I think TikTok is super interesting to me because I think it lends itself more to these kind of conversations versus just me going, and telling you to piss off and, go cry a river. Because this whole account is about me promoting the game kind of and talking with you. But the underlying idea of how I started talking was about the game. I still care about that. I really want the game to do well. So is this an inappropriate place to make that joke, right? We purposely didn't keep using the Anacrusis account because that felt different and weird, and I started updating that, and it just didn't feel the same, and doing me there had that different weight that I used to have at Valve, where I realized when I'm talking, like what happened the other day, I'm talking for all of Valve and a bunch of people. There, that was very uncomfortable because there's just so many talented people there that just aren't getting any recognition, and I'm getting recognition just because I'm talking. Here at the Anacrusis, literally, if you go on our Discord, you can talk to everybody who works on a team, or a small team, or 4 people. So when I talk here, it's a little bit different, and I can be a little bit more personal. But still, even with that, I can make mistakes. So did I make a mistake? Should we just delete it? The easiest thing would be to just delete it, and I almost thought of just doing that, not having this conversation. But I also thought, this is an interesting conversation to have because I've never been able to have this conversation because I've always had this. So I had spoken at Valve at times, where I would be doing press. Now I had learned to get in and out as quick as possible. So if multiple people were doing press, like me and Eric would be doing Portal 2 press, I would be done. I would be having a beer, waiting for him to get done 20 minutes later because I talk as little as possible. I get in and out. You don't think so, but in that setting I did. Because I'd gotten burned so many times. But even then, still every so often, I'd get that email or phone call from either like Scott or Gabe, and I'm like, hey. I'm like, I didn't really say that, or that's not what I meant. And they're like, yeah, but hey, some people didn't like that how I talked at Valve, I think. And, then other people just gave me latitude with that, including Gabe and Scott. Both great about it, but also like, hey, Yeah, ends up like, Left 4 Dead's a $1 billion franchise or something, or Counter-Strike is $1 billion franchise. Like, you have to respect that. So that's the question, though. Back to the pre-Valve stuff is like, was that crossing a line? All the other jokes that I've done on here tend to be about the game or using a game and using memes here, and it's a different kind of thing. That was a different little bit of flavor, a little bit of playing around. Somebody else posted this weekend when I posted about ChatGPT. They're like, oh, you're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall. I'm like, yeah, that's what you do. You try different things and you play around with like jokes. I mean, sometimes jokes have a little arc to them and they run their course. ChatGPT probably will have one more maybe update and that would be it. Right? Like, it doesn't need more. You don't overstay your welcome. You don't be an SNL skit. So what does that look like? How does this look, right? Somebody had asked me about Old Man Murray, where I kind of started the comedy online stuff did stuff before, but that was where people found us and where Valve found us and stuff. And there we had no filter. To the point of this is me and Eric making each other laugh because we didn't think anyone ever heard us. We're just two dumbasses in Cleveland screaming at the wind, and then all of a sudden you're getting phone calls from major companies being like, "Yo," you're like, "Oh, okay." And that was actually, we were fine with the phone calls from other companies. It was just there's a point where we felt too big and we felt like we were punching down at people, and then that became uncomfortable. Which I'm not doing here, right? This is different. And there's different kinds of comedy. That was just one easy kind of joke that I had in my head, right? So, again, just kind of curious what people think about it. I'm just babbling now. It's Monday morning. I was putting in audio Sunday night while watching football, or Sunday while watching football, and the Browns win. Woo! Hey, look at that. Last minute win. Calls went their way. It's crazy. It's crazy. They got rid of the quarterback I didn't like because he's not a good person. So, I think I got a new quarterback. We're wearing Brian Sipes jersey. Yeah, that's all right. I got Brian Sipes autograph, man. I'm going to go back in Browns history. So, all right, I'm babbling. I'm really babbling now. But I hope everyone has a good week. Let me know what you think.